What up, everybody? At the end of Ghost Season 3, there was a very important scene that I've been breaking down over the last couple of weeks. This is a scene where Tariq meets up with his mother, Tasha St. Patrick, at the park soon after she shot Monet. And during this scene, after Tariq tells Tasha that he lost his inheritance in a Ponzi scheme, Tariq went on to tell Tasha that he just needs that money, that power, that stuff that makes you untouchable, like Noma. When Tasha told Tariq that his father tried that, and that's what took him down, as Tariq went on to say that he would learn from Ghost's mistakes, and that they would, quote, be lessons unto him. So over the last couple weeks, I've been breaking down the lessons that Tariq could learn from Ghost moving forward that could help him survive Season 4. Last week specifically focusing on never underestimating your op. If you haven't watched those videos yet, I'll leave the links in the description. But in this video, I want to look at this conversation from another angle and ask the question, did Ghost obtain that untouchable status and pull one over everybody, faking his own death as a way to finally make it out of the game? And before I get started, let me start by addressing the recent comments by Omari Hardwick saying Ghost was dead. Like I've been saying for a couple years now, we got to say what these actors say with a grain of salt. Keep it in mind that Paige, aka Lauren, went on social media and confirmed that Lauren was dead, and she wasn't. And Raising Kanan made a whole campaign saying Unique was dead, included a couple Joey Badass interviews confirming Unique was dead as well. Only for Unique to return in the Raising Kanan Season 3 finale. So this is nothing new, and actually what he's supposed to say, because in no way would Omari spoil the storyline by admitting that Ghost is still alive. So now that I got that out the way, I can move forward with the actual topic at hand, and that is Ghost untouchable status. In Power Season 6, we are introduced to a man named Stephen Ott, who was the head of the Democratic Party. We could basically consider Ott one of the most powerful men in the entire world, as he actually pulls the strings behind the Democratic Party. Ott is a ghost-type figure himself who does the work behind the scenes. Ott knocked on Jacob Warner's door, who was the head of criminal in the Eastern District at this time. Warner in the Eastern District was investigating James St. Patrick, who was also running for lieutenant governor for the state of New York. When Ott knocked on Warner's door, letting him know that they need to dead the investigation on James St. Patrick, that he is now property of the Democratic Party. Yes, this indeed did mean Ghost was now untouchable. This is part of the reason why he was letting everybody know at the end of Season 6 that nobody could stop him. A phrase even echoed by Ramona in the ladies' restroom of Truth, talking to Paz. Keeping in mind that it was Ramona who brought James into politics in the first place. But the problem was Warner, Blanca, and the Eastern District continued their efforts to arrest James St. Patrick, even getting a warrant for his arrest. But we got to believe that this information got back to Stephen Ott and the Democratic Party immediately. Keeping in mind they were already monitoring the situation, going as far as threatening Jacob Warner his job. So at this point, the Democratic Party had to make a move. Keep in mind that the final episode of Power was called exactly how we planned it. And this title alone is a hint in itself that Ghost is still alive. Because one would assume that the title is talking about Tasha and Tariq exactly how they planned it. But in reality, nothing concerning what happened actually went as they planned. Their plan was for Tasha to smoke Ghost, but at the last minute, Tariq changed his mind and decided to shoot Ghost himself, who just happened to be waiting at the balcony. In addition to that, things didn't go as planned moving forward either, as Tasha took the gun and instead of getting rid of it, she tried framing Q, resulting in Tasha getting arrested to conclude the OG Power series, and Tariq going to college. So with that said, I ask everyone the question, exactly who planned it? Because it definitely wasn't Tariq and Tasha. Exactly as Ghost and the Democratic Party planned it, with Tariq going to college and Tasha in jail about to take the fall for Ghost's whole organization. Keep it in mind that in Book 2, Season 1, it was Stephen Ott who stepped on the scene forcing Saxe to throw the Queen Pin statue at Tasha. This is after firing Warner and hiring Saxe, someone who Stephen Ott could control. So some may ask the question, why would the Democratic Party do all this for Ghost? It is because he forced their hand. Imagine the press that would have got out there if Ghost would have been arrested and the allegation of all the murders he committed got out there, on top of the fact that he was the biggest drug dealer in the whole city. So because they already made the news public that Ghost was running for lieutenant governor of the Democratic Party, they were now at a point of no return and had to help Ghost, leading me to ask the question, did Ghost ever intend on being a politician, or was it all part of the bigger picture to get out the game? Keep it in mind that Ghost just kind of fell into politics, being at the right place at the right time, sort of with his connection with Councilman Tate. He went on to tell Tate he stole his dream. So when the offer was made to join Loretta Walsh, Ghost saw it as an opportunity to achieve that untouchable status. Now backtracking for a minute to things going exactly how Ghost planned. And just like Ghost forced the hand of the Democratic Party to help him get out the game, he also forced the hand of Tariq to pull the trigger. Keeping in mind, one of the final things Tariq said before pulling the trigger was, "You still don't get it. I'm you." As Ghost just got done telling Tariq the story earlier in the episode about Breeze and how Breeze forced his hand. Then telling Tariq, "Don't force my hand, son." This sounded like a calculated statement to me. Knowing that between Kanan and Tasha, they had Tariq's head all messed up and they had turned Tariq against Ghost anyway. And also keeping in mind, everything we saw in the final 5 episodes was from other people's perspective. And we don't know what actually happened from Ghost's perspective. This is Ghost utilizing Law 3 of the 48 Laws of Power, conceal your intentions. And part of this law talks about using smoke screens to disguise your actions. With that said, I believe Ghost and the Democratic Party used smoke screens in faking his death. Estelle might have given the biggest clue of them all when they first showed the scene of Ghost's funeral. Estelle said, quote, "This is some show." Then went on to ask Tariq how he could pay for all that when her and Yaz were just scraping by. And Tariq told his grandma he didn't even know who any of those people were. At the same time, the funeral was a closed casket funeral for what would have been a death by one single bullet wound to the chest. Again, this is the smoke and mirrors effect, a closed casket and big massive funeral to prevent anyone from asking to open the casket to look at James one last time. The occasion was simply too big for that. Additionally, using the big public funeral as a smokescreen so the world would definitely be convinced that James was dead. The funeral, aka the show as Estelle called it, orchestrated by none other than Stephen Ott and the Democratic Party. And because Tariq and Tasha were too busy covering their own tracks as well as Tommy, there was nobody to confirm Ghost's death. And I've heard people say they never showed Ghost's body because he wasn't under contract. But showing his body could have been done at any point on episodes 611 through 615. And if they really wanted to close the chapter on James St. Patrick, they could have just done a scene like what BMF did with Saint on episode 1 of season 3. They showed the character without showing the face to confirm the death. Book 2 could have easily done something similar if Ghost was actually dead, simply by having Tariq walk up to the casket to say his final words without actually showing Ghost's face. That would have put everything to bed. But since that didn't even happen, it's obvious that part of Ghost and the Democratic Party's plan was to keep everybody so busy while also using the smoke and mirror effect that nobody remembered to even confirm his death. The big question that I have is, was Ramona in on the whole thing, or did Ghost just use her as a pawn? Keeping in mind that at Truth, the night he was shot, Ramona said that they should keep their relationship a secret. But Ghost went on to kiss Ramona in front of everyone, saying that was a secret he wasn't willing to keep. Then later on, after Ghost's supposed death, Tate used this information to slander Ramona, talking about her and Ghost's relationship. So was Ramona just a pawn that Ghost was using to add more confusion to the whole thing, or was she in on it all? Keep it in mind that Ghost never minded treating either Angela or Tasha as pawns anytime it was useful for him to. And there you have it, Ghost untouchable status and the smoke and mirror funeral. Leave your thoughts, theories, and predictions in the comments.